time to sit back and check out the RCWR Show with Lee Sanders. Get fun, in-depth coverage and analysis from the latest in professional wrestling in AEW, WWE, NWA, Impact Wrestling, or the world of entertainment. From hit TV shows to your favorite sports like the NBA or NFL. All things music, movies, and beyond, while trying to make sense of this crazy world we live in. All while keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive since 2011. And now your host, live from the nation's capital of Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
Hey, covering the latest in wrestling, entertainment, and beyond since 2011. It's your man, Lee Sanders here. You're checking out a new episode of the RCWR Show for this Monday night of February 19th, 2024. Man, I can't believe February is almost over and done with. Yeah, I get it. I know it's the shortest month out of the calendar year, but still, it just feels as though literally last week was the first week of February. I mean, my God, these first several weeks of 2024, at least for me, going by extremely fast. Hey, what did you guys think about this week's WWE RAW? Sound off, let your voices be heard. I've got a poll up on X, formerly known as Twitter, at the RCWR Show. Also up on the Communities tab on youtube.com/the RCWR Show. Take a look at that later on in the show. See what you guys have to say. I hope you all's weekend was pretty good. I know over here in the DMV, weird weather that we were having because we had experienced some snow. And over here in the nation's capital, when you mention those four letters, everybody and their mama acts like it is the end of the world. I swear. And I remember last week I had a few people asking me, so are you ready for the snow? And I'm going, look, as far as the snow goes, I'm going to choose my words carefully. I actually told one person this at work. I said, I'm going to choose my words very carefully here, but I just think that everybody greatly exaggerates when it comes to snow. I'm from Chicago, so like, and as soon as I say that, that pretty much usually that gets people laughing, and they go, yeah, and then they end up saying, yeah, a lot of wussies out here, or yeah, we're wussies. That's nothing compared to, you're absolutely right. So, but it was funny because everybody was just acting like it was the end of the world last week because we had got hit with snow late Friday night going into Saturday morning. So basically the snow had picked up, I would say, I believe a little bit after midnight. So late Friday night, beginning of Saturday morning. And I mean, it came and went. A lot of the reports that were out there, they were saying, probably going to be looking at anywhere between 2, possibly 4 inches. And basically, it was going to go from about the heaviest 1 o'clock in the morning going until 3:30 in the morning. So, I mean, we had a quick hatchoo. I mean, literally, that's how it was. Hatchoo. Okay. And when the sun came up and all of that, if it was a case where you didn't have to work that Saturday, and I was fortunate because I actually was off work from both of my jobs. So the only thing I had to focus on was homework. And, man, I had homework out of the yin-yang for a lot of my classes. It was just, but I was happy to be indoors, not dealing with the inclement weather and all that. But all things considered, by the time Saturday morning came around, whether you woke up around here at about 8, 9, or 10 in the morning, it was a case of, wait, did it actually snow? Like, what happened here? So we were very, very fortunate. I know some areas got hit with mad snow on the East Coast. Shout out to my people, particularly in New York. Did I hear that right? That my people in New York, they got about 10 inches of snow. I'm just going, damn, right? Like, now that's where the real weather is when it's all said and done. Of course, this weekend had also marked the 2024 edition of the NBA All-Star festivities. I did poll you guys on social media. Shout out if you guys had noticed those polls. I was getting feedback from you all, asking you all that had tuned in, what did you think about that event? And I definitely want to sound off and give you guys my thoughts about that weekend event overall. I think a lot of you guys will definitely appreciate what I have to say on here and everything. I tell you, it's so damn weird. I'm getting the most weirdest freaking people that are following me on X. Tell me if this has been happening to you guys as of late. It seems like every time I turn around, when I am looking at who all is following me on X, I am seeing a bunch of porn accounts, and I'm usually just blocking the hell out of those joints left and right. I'm like the Kimbe Matumbo on that mofo. I'm just blocking mofos left and right. And then there's those rare times where I see some accounts where I go, what the hell is this about? Like, I'm looking at some accounts right now where I'm going, I don't interact with these people. I don't have anything in common with these people. And yet, okay, yeah, sure, I guess I'll let it ride or whatever. But I want to give you guys my thoughts about, I mean to get sidetracked. I was trying to look at the poll results for NBA All-Star Weekend. I just happened to see I picked up a new follower. So let's see what you guys had to say here. NBA All-Star Weekend. First of all, we're going backwards. Let's talk about that Sunday night game. And I have a lot to talk about in regards to Sunday's NBA All-Star game. I have a lot to talk about. That's actually going to open up our show, quite honestly. I know a lot of you guys had voted last week as far as new segments that we're playing around with. This whole NBA All-Star Weekend experience, this is going to be this week's. I got to get this off my chest because there was a lot of stuff that I saw that made me go, hold up, time out. But anyway, All-Star Weekend officially in the books. Looking at the polling results via X, I'm pretty sure I had posted it on here. Give me a second here. Why is it not loading up here? Hang on. So it looks like I put up an exclusive poll on YouTube, actually. I did put a poll up for, I think it was Saturday night, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look here. Bear with me here, guys. Now it's not showing up. X is so weird. I swear to God, I put up the freaking polls on X, and now it's not popping up. Very, very weird. Okay, whatever. It is what it is. I know for sure on YouTube I did poll you guys. So, all right. NBA All-Star Weekend Sunday in the books. How about that game? I give you guys 4 options coming in at 11%. Those of you that voted, you said you loved it. Meanwhile, we have a tie for 22% where some of you have been skipping it for years now. It's not the same. While the other half of you are going, it was an uneventful night, honestly. Yeah. And coming in at top dog right now with 44% of the votes. No competition whatsoever. Needs revamping. I did ask you guys about the Saturday night events that went down All-Star Weekend. Here's what you all had to say in regards to that. 6% of the votes coming in, you all gave it a thumbs down. Meanwhile, 29% of you middle of the road. Top dog, again, this is for Saturday night's NBA All-Star festivities. 65% of you gave it a thumbs up. So, me being a long time basketball fan and everything, I've seen a lot. Seen a lot of great talents come and go and all of that. And for me, growing up, All-Star Weekend is where it was at because you've got the very, very best players of the East and the West, domestic, international. They all just come together, and we're supposed to get this great battle of, okay, who is the elite here? Who's going to get the bragging rights and all of that? And there used to be a time where it was very competitive. These past several years, not so much. And that trend continued going into this 2024 edition. And this is despite the fact that NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said straight up, hey, look, I'm expecting a really, really great game when it comes to Sunday night's All-Star game. I expect for there to be really great competition. You're going to see it like no other. It's going to be different than the year prior. You had so many NBA executive heads bring this same point up. You even had Larry Bird during, what was it? I think it was Saturday morning or Sunday morning's brunch. So several hours before the NBA All-Star game, challenging those that were participating in the All-Star game to go out there and really put it all out there on the line. Let it be some serious competition. Entertain, because the whole world is watching. So we go out there, and by the way, in case you are not aware, this is the I need to get this off my chest, and I really do. I need to do this. I need to get this off my chest portion of the show. What do I see when it's all said and done with the All-Star game? I see a final score of 211 points by the East Coast, and the West Coast has 186 points. So we are talking about a game where damn near 400 points was scored. And I am just looking at this. You would have sworn by looking at that type of a score that this must have been some type of AI simulated video game. Maybe somebody had put in the latest edition of NBA 2K and the other person ain't playing, or the computer just freaking sucks. It's that bad. But this was an actual game where almost 400 points was scored. And I just looked at that. I'm just flabbergasted. And anybody that had watched NBA Commissioner Adam Silver afterwards, you saw the irritation on his face. You saw that this man did not like what played out before his eyes. You saw the look of frustration. And for him to say, hey, East Coast, you scored over 200 points. ... Congratulations, right? And it was a sarcastic, you could tell, just look at his face. This guy was perturbed. And it just had me go, as a basketball fan, what the flying hell happened to this sport that I've come to know and love? We just got done seeing, and I thought Adam Silver and the rest of the figureheads that were in on this concept, I thought they did a great job with the execution. But we had the first ever in-season tournament that went down, of which the Lakers had won. I mean, so we saw the competition in there, right? But yet I saw no offense. Defense. I saw no defense whatsoever in that All-Star game. I saw no shots being contested.
It was just pretty much, go ahead, do your thing. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I'll try it again when we come on back down here. Try it again. And I just shook my head at disappointment going, what happened to this game that I used to know and love? Particularly, what happened to All-Star Weekend? Don't get me wrong, folks. I'm not crapping, and I don't want people to take this the wrong way. I'm not crapping on the entire NBA All-Star Weekend. There were good points, good parts to All-Star Weekend. First off, I thought that in regards to the three-point contest between Golden State Warriors, Stephen Curry, and of the NBA versus WNBA, Sabrina. I cannot pronounce her last name, so I don't want to cause any disrespect there. So I'm not going to even. I heard it enough times. I meant to actually hear the name one more time sometime before I went live, but I didn't get a chance to do that, unfortunately. But Curry taking on Sabrina, I thought that was just, and it was just a straight up 3-point contest. I loved that. I ate that up. Some of the comments that had came in, I saw on social media, there are a lot of discriminating, sexist men that are out there. Because a lot of the comments that I saw, I'm going, wow. And look, I can respect anybody that goes, hey, look, all due respect to the WNBA, but I could give two flying craps about the WNBA. It's just not my cup of tea. I tried watching the game and everything. It's just not the same. Give me my NBA. I'm good to go. Okay, I can respect that. I can respect somebody feeling that way. But to go out of your way to name call Sabrina, make fun of how she looks and then say all these derogatory things about her, I'm just looking at that and I'm going, okay, what if that was your sister? What if that was, your cousin? What if that was your daughter? What if that was, right, you fill in the blank, your wife, whatever, right, significant other? What if, would you want for the public on social media to be coming at them like that? Like, treat people the way you want to be treated. And, if you don't care about Sabrina, okay, well, you know what? Keep your little comments to yourself and keep it moving along. There were so many insecure men out there that were commenting on Sabrina. It was ridiculous. And they weren't commenting over, it wasn't a case where, man, come on, she wasn't going to take down the GOAT. That's Steph Curry. Come on, man. It wasn't anything like that. I mean, I was literally seeing men that were uncomfortable under their own skin with the fact that, how dare Adam Silver and the rest of the NBA sign off on a woman to take part in the NBA All-Star Weekend activities? How dare they bring a woman into this whole mix? And I just looked at that and I simply said, you know what? It's about damn time, because the WNBA has been in existence now for almost 30 years, if I'm not mistaken. So not that long. I remember when it was first launched and everything. But it hasn't been around that long. And we've just now gotten to this point. It's taken us this long to see the WNBA have some type of representation during the NBA All-Star Weekend. I was expecting this many years prior, way before the Me Too movement, way before all those movements, way before any of those. So the fact that it's taken this long, and, what started off with just two basketball players respecting each other's game, doing a little bit of trash talking to one another, and then creating this whole what if dream scenario, and for it to actually materialize. I'm going, let's do it again. I said it on social media. I said, you know what? Let's freaking run this back again, because you know what? This is awesome. I'd love to see these two go at it again. And you know what? If this is how we can continue to have the WNBA be part of the NBA All-Star Weekend, then you know what? Let's go ahead and let's make it happen, right? Is this if this is what officially will be that Pandora's box, if this is what will officially be that gateway in setting up more WNBA activities taking part of NBA All-Star Weekend, then you know what? I'm all fine for it. Let's go ahead, have at it. All right? Brings me to another point. The 3-point shooting contest, loved it. If you would have told me, Lee, there's not only going to be one player, not two players, not three players, but 4 players in the 3-point shooting contest are going to tie for 26 points, I would say to you, well, goddamn, right? I literally would say to you, like, are they missing? I would say probably to you, are they missing on purpose, or what's going on here? Like, that sounds, I'm having a hard time picturing it. And to that, my wife would tell you, I was yelling with excitement and everything, seeing what was going on during that 3-point shooting contest. I couldn't believe what was going on with that. And then to see that Damian Lillard was the last one to jump out there, I'm going, okay, well, if anybody is gonna, right, surely Damian Lillard is going to, right? And when it was all said and done, ultimately, Damian Lillard, he did come away as the winner and everything. But the 3-point shooting contest, Damian Lillard winning that, I loved it. I freaking loved it. Hands down, I loved it. Lillard's first year in Milwaukee, we can all admit, it hasn't gone exactly according to plan. Numbers down and everything. And Bucks, they've got title aspirations. I mean, they got what? They got Doc Rivers and everything. We'll see what happens if they're going to be able to turn that around and everything. But, I mean, that weekend, to see Damian Lillard be able to outlast Karl Anthony Towns to win his second consecutive 3-point title on Saturday, and he managed to hold off Indiana Pacers Tyrese Halliburton to claim the All-Star Game MVP on Sunday. I mean, if you're Damian Lillard, if you're a fan of his, you got to be going, yo, I'm on cloud 9. If you're Damian Lillard, you're going, yeah, I'm still that man. I'm still that mofo. I still got a lot that's left in the tank here. Okay, so I thought the 3-point shooting contest, I thought that was on point. I also thought that in regards to the dunking contest, the dunking contest, I don't know what was going on with the judges. I'm looking at my notes here. I want to just see if I got my man's name, and I do. I did write it down. Mac McClung. It kind of seemed to me like they were trying to screw that young boy. It really did seem that way. I'm going, come on. His first dunk was, and I'm trying to understand what was going on with the way in which the judges were voting, because it's like, okay, are you all deducting points from, when they make the first attempt to do their dunk and it doesn't go through? Like, not for nothing, but they have a certain amount of time to pull off their stunt. So, okay, you have an idea what they're trying to do, and obviously they're going to run it back, and, right? You really should be looking at the actual dunk itself, not penalizing them when they mess up on the first attempt. If anything, you should be looking at that first attempt to get an idea. Okay, I see what they're trying to do. Okay, all right. Now that I've gotten your rough draft, okay, let's see if you can execute this in the time allowed. Then, when they execute the dunk in question, You then go, okay, all right, now I know what they were trying to do. And they've all got monitors, so they can easily look at their monitors. They can easily look up on the Jumbotron, and they can easily look at the replay in slow-mo and, pretty much go from there. So there was some questionable scoring that was going on there that just made me go, these judges, like, what's, and I agreed with Kenny the Jet Smith in his critique on the judges. I didn't like the personal side, rhetoric that was going on where he was taking cheap shots at them. But as far as just, these refs, what's going on with them, like, what the hell? And, then even afterwards, when the Inside the NBA crew got together the next night to talk about it, even they were all like, yeah, what was going on with the judges? They're like, seriously. But Mac McClung, to see him come away, winning it and all that, you know what? Rightfully so. Rightfully so, but it was missing significant star power. I mean, let's be totally honest. It was missing significant star power. Could you just imagine if a healthy Zion Williams would have been in there? I mean, seriously, just picture Zion Williams, right? It was missing significant star power in that dunking contest. I mean, this dunking contest was mainly being relied on shorties when it's all said and done. So there's a little bit of bitter with the sweet that's going in there, but the overall glaring problem with the dunking contest is you didn't have enough star power in that dunking contest. I mean, they did the best that they could with that and all that, but you know what? It was what it was. Adam Silver, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, I appreciate what he's been able to do with the NBA domestically, internationally. Great idea with bringing in Sabrina, Steph Curry. I mean, he hit all of that right. All of that right. He has done a really good job in making sure that the players are well taken care of, that there's truly a great rapport with players and the owners. I mean, he's done a really good job since taking over from David Stern, right? All that being said, though, the fact that this NBA All-Star game ended up blowing up in his face, it just made him look like a freaking hypocrite. I'm going to tell you what I think needs to happen in regards to All-Star Weekend in a little bit. But, we're talking about the winners and losers here for NBA All-Star Weekend. I've also got to talk about for what it was worth, Jaylen Brown. Going back to the dunking contest and all, I thought Jaylen Brown did some stuff in there, especially with the All-Star game. I'm going, well, damn, Jaylen, I didn't know you were capable of. Okay, well, maybe you should go into the dunking contest next year, right? We were seeing some pretty good stuff there. But Jennifer Hudson with her halftime performance, I thought that was great. I actually was a little bit disappointed that the NBA halftime show didn't last, because usually the NBA halftime show goes a little bit longer. So I was quite taken back by the fact that we pretty much just got to hear a few minutes of Jennifer Hudson, and that basically was it. It's like, okay, cool. I don't care about sadly, I don't care about the rising stars and celebrities taking. I don't care about Friday. I don't care about the Friday events. Most people are interested in what's happening on Saturday and Sunday. All right, so now that we have the entire picture, okay? Now that we have the entire picture, what can be done to improve the NBA All-Star Weekend? There was one comment that came in, and I want to read this comment. I want to read this comment here. Hopefully, I can still pull it up here. And otherwise, I'm going to have to... There, wait. Hang on. Maybe if I go back this way. because I want to make sure that I do not take this person out of context when I read their comment here. Let me see here. Maybe they deleted their comment. One person had commented on my post in regards to the scoring of the game. And they had said something along the lines of NBA All-Star Weekend, maybe it just needs to be canceled altogether. Just cancel the whole event. And to the person that had said that, you do understand that's not going to happen. Because NBA All-Star Weekend makes so much money, okay? It draws so much attention. That's not happening. That is not happening. But what Adam Silver and the rest of the guys, what they can do is make some tweaks, okay? And what I think needs to happen when it's all said and done, as far as I'm concerned, the NBA All-Star Game itself, just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. You've got players that, it's interesting because you've got some players that have gone on record and they've said, yeah, I hear all the criticism that's being put out there. I do. But, oh, wow. Somebody said, hey, we got, you got that picture that's been up on the screen for so long there. Well, hey, hi, you can see me, and now I'm going to put the picture back up. But no, seriously, my whole thing is in regards to this, get rid of NBA All-Star Weekend, the game itself. You've already got players that are going on record saying, I hear what the fans are saying. I hear the criticism that's being put out there on social media, but what are we supposed to do? We can't really play that hard because we got to make sure that our bodies is good to go for the second half of the rest of the season, especially if you're on a team that has playoff potential. Or if you're part of a team where if the regular season were to end today, boom, they're in the playoffs. So I get that narrative. Okay, you want to take it easy and okay, I get that. And then you've got some players that are saying, well, look, this is the NBA All-Star break. This is a break as far as I'm concerned. I'm just kicking back. I'm taking it easy. I'm enjoying life. This is my vacation. I'm enjoying it. Right. Okay. So you see the narratives that's out there when it's all said and done, right? I know that we got some old school basketball heads like myself that's going, well, wait a minute. When I get it. When Allen Iverson, when young LeBron, like, I get it. We had competition going on during those All-Star. I get it. But we're at this point now, and it's sad because the average NBA basketball player, bare minimum, they're making like at least $10 million. At least $10 million. So, I mean, they are pretty much like set for life when it's all said and done. Get their affairs in order, make sure they're investing smartly, all that good stuff, and they're good. But like $10 million. For average Joes like you and me, we'd be happy just getting $1 million. I mean, we could do a lot of good with $1 million. But no, get rid of the NBA All-Star Game altogether. That is honestly how you do it. Because this trend, guess what? It's just going to continue. So you might as well just nip it in the bud right now. Because to the players' points, that's saying, hey, look, heaven forbid, get an injury. Then, right, those playoff potentials that was looking really, really good, or you're looking at the leaderboards and that team was doing fantastic before All-Star break, but now they're top 1, 2, or X amount players are injured because they participated in the All-Star game. They're now out because they're injured. So much for playoff aspirations. What's going to happen? Are they going to get the organization, the team? Are they going to get some type of, I don't know, draft picks, compensation draft picks for those injuries that occurred at the All-Star game? Are they, right? It's so weird because when you look at the NHL, when you look at the NFL, like, their guys, they come out, they freaking, even when you look at the MLB, when you look at the respected All-Star games, the best players, they come out, they're playing for keeps. They're playing for keeps. Only in the NBA, year after year after year after year after year, have you continued to see this crap go down with the All-Star game. So I say you go on ahead and you just take that bad boy out altogether. Now, some of you guys may say, okay, Lee, so we get rid of the game. Okay. So then what's going to happen in regards to Sunday? Like, what do we do with Sunday? Honestly, in regards to Sunday, I think what they're doing with the pros and all that on Friday, and then with what they're doing on Saturday, I think that suffices. I think that is more than enough. That's more than enough. You don't need to do anything. You really don't. What? You want to put a game in there? It's going to be the same freaking result. There's nothing that you can say. There's nothing that you can do. There's no amount of money in the world that's going to make this current generation of players actually really play. So you might as well just get rid of the game altogether. You can still do everything else on Friday and Saturday. I think the only time there should be something going on Sunday is like if you want to do some type of a special ceremony for, I don't know. I know we did the NBA 75, right? If you maybe want to do something kind of similar to that, but you don't want to have it take place on Friday and Saturday, okay, maybe you kind of do something, right? I just don't know as far as the viewer retention, how much of that is gonna. So my best advice would be cram all that into Friday and Saturday. There's just really, really no point of having a game. That's my thoughts on that. I know other people are toying around with other ideas, as far as how to save the game itself. But I don't think they're going to be able to save it when it's all said and done. So you guys can sound off. Let me know your thoughts on that. But, for me personally, just be done. Just be done with the motherfucker already. Seriously. That is what I'm getting off of my chest this week. I apologize for the long rant there, but I've been a passionate basketball fan for many, many, many years. I go as far back as to when Michael Jeffrey Jordan was playing for North Carolina. I remember when he got drafted to the Chicago Bulls. Okay, that's how long I've been watching. So to see what has become with the All-Star game, I think All-Star Weekend is great. Don't get me wrong. There's really great parts to it. I love how fans from all around the world, media. I've got friends in media that, that is their favorite time of the year because, they get to update their portfolio and, they get to, put some really good work out there as being part of the press media and covering All-Star Weekend and everything, right? I wouldn't mind doing something like that ultimately to cover All-Star Weekend and everything. But, yeah, I think if they make those tweaks, this would go a lot better. I tell you what, this is going to be a very crazy idea. But I tell you what, let me see the WNBA be part of All-Star Weekend in the form of having, the best players form one team to take on for the WNBA, and let there be some straight up good ass solid competition amongst the women. Maybe that might challenge the men to, okay, we got to bring it. Did you see that women's game? Some food for thought. It's some food for thought. So, other than that, I see that Madam Web, the latest pet project from Sony Pictures, has bombed big time in the theaters. What's the budget? The budget is $80-90 million. And this movie has only brought in about $25 million. Not good whatsoever. I've seen a lot of reviews for this game. There's a lot of people that's saying that this is as bad as the Morbius movie that came out a couple of years back. Who was in that, in the lead role? Jared Leto, I believe it was. You got a lot of people that are saying, this movie is bad. It's like so bad. Usually when I hear that there is a movie that is really that bad, I don't want to see it. My curiosity may pique, but I don't want to see it. But this is when I'm seeing all these reports that's going around. I've read up on a couple of reviews and everything. First of all, I'm surprised over the fact that we have the woman from 50 Shades of Grey that is in one of the lead roles for this movie. I'm just looking at that going, okay, if you're the agent, if you're her agent, which, my God, I hope that agent still has his job with Homegirl, because this was just a disastrous freaking, I'm looking at that going, what the hell? Right? Because if I'm the actor and I've attached myself to this project and it's not doing so well revenue-wise, I'm looking at my agent going, dude, what the hell? Right? I'm just wondering, how was this pitched? Was this a case where, hey, you're going to be part of the Marvel Universe? Yeah. I mean, was that how it was pitched or what? Because this is a dark reminder, number one, that you cannot trust Sony Pictures just by themselves to come up with a really good superhero movie. They just do not have the right people in place. They don't have the right figureheads. They don't have the right people that can really, really go in, try to stay as true to the source material as possible, while at the same time putting a great positive spin on it, since they're borrowing from the source material and all that. That's what screams to me when I look at everything that's going on with Madam Web right now. The other thing that stands out to me in regards to Madam Web, the superhero fatigue. Let me be more specific. The superhero live cinema fatigue. It really is real. No pun intended, because I'm going R-E-A-L instead of R-E-E-L. But it is real. Right down to the point, you've got Disney's Bob Iger that's saying, look, we got to go back to basics here. Less is better, especially if it means more time for us to really put out really great products, really, really great IPs. We need to scale back drastically and really take our time. And if that means we need to get to a point where we're only putting out 2 Marvel movies a year, maybe 1 or 2 shows a year, then so be it. But we can't keep putting all this other stuff out here like we're doing. Like, no. And I like that mindset. I really do like that mindset. Something that I've been saying here on this show for many years now: quality over quantity, right? Just because you put out 7 shows a week, it doesn't mean that every single show is good. There's actually going to be, right? Unless you're actually very meticulous, you're going in and, right? But, you'll have some people, man, I tell you, and they're sucking themselves. Oh, man, we put out some really great shows, man, this past week. We put out 7 shows, 7 great shows. And it's like, okay, 7 great shows, but that's you talking. But, overall, how is the actual product? How is the actual product? So the superhero fatigue cinema thing, that really, really is real. I can't wait to see, though, what's going to happen with Deadpool and Wolverine. That looks very, very promising. The Joker sequel looks very promising as well. Next year should be damn interesting because we're going to have Fantastic Four, which apparently is going to be taking place in the 1960s, which is freaking brilliant. That's freaking brilliant. I've always thought that's honestly how Fantastic Four should have been properly introduced anyway, right? So, major brownie points for how they're going to kick that off. And then we're also going to have the live action for Superman Legacy. So, that should be very, very... I think Batman 2, I don't think that's coming out until... I don't think Batman 2 is next year. I think Batman 2 is 2026. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one, though. So, but will I see Madam Web? No. Even if you were to tell me it's going to be available on whoever next month for my favorite digital platform, I'm not going to. The trailer, like, if I'm not hooked on the trailer, forget about it. And the trailer, it did not grab me at all. So, 9 out of 10, I am not. Look, right now, I'm more excited over the X-Men 97 trailer. I don't know if you guys saw that. If you were fans of the original X-Men animated series, man, X-Men 97, it looks badass. And I love the fact that some of the original cast members that was around back then, they're coming back to reprise their roles. So that is mega, mega badass. Sadly, the guy who voiced Magneto, he died some time ago. So that, unfortunately, we're not going to get him. But the new Magneto, hey, look, it happens, right? I've been watching recently Superman, the animated series. I didn't watch all the episodes growing up. So it's been fun these past couple of weeks going back in and watching them. And as some of you guys that's into your animations know, Tim DeLay had voiced Superman during that animated series. But then by the time they got to Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, for whatever respective reason, Tim wasn't available. So they had to go with a new voice actor. And you know what? He hit it out of the park because he sounded pretty similar to Tim DeLay's Superman voice impression, right? So, he knocked it out of the park. He did a really good job and everything. So I can't wait to see what happens. I know there's a little bit of controversy online right now where a lot of people are, if I understand this right, they're tripping over what's going on with the Morph character. Because the Morph character, I guess, is non-binary or whatever. And people are just having a field day over this. And it's a case where it's like, well, remember, we need to be taking our cues from the great Stan Lee and what the X-Men is all about and everything. Because Stan Lee was thinking years and years, decades ahead of his time. So I have a feeling that if Stan Lee was around today and he would hear, hey, look, in regards to this Morph character, we're going to make them be non-binary. I mean, when you really stop and think about it, they can pretty much turn into all different types of things, of people, I think objects, right? So it's like, I think Stan Lee would totally, and I'm not just saying that. There's enough interviews that's out there that would suggest that if the man was around, he'd be all fine freaking for it. So, look, we haven't even seen an episode drop yet. I don't think the 10 episode run is going to be dropping until late March. So let's just chill. Let's see what happens with all of that and then go from there. But I think they're going to do a really good job. Based off what I've seen so far from the trailer and all that, it looks very promising. So can't wait to. And you know what? I'm rooting for its success because what I ultimately would love to see, I would love to see Bruce Timm and Paul Dini get back together, and I would love to see them take another crack at the Justice League. I'd love to see them take another crack at Superman. I would even love to see them, under the right circumstances, take another crack at Batman. I mean, obviously, that'd be pretty hard to do now that you don't have the great Kevin Conroy, but those are obviously some pretty big shoes to fill, obviously. But I would still, under the right circumstances, I'd love to see them try to bring that back and everything. So let's talk a little bit about WWE Raw tonight. I'm not gonna spend a whole hour talking about Raw, by the way, right? So I really hope you appreciated all the loose chatter that we had beforehand, because I'm gonna be in and out on the talk of WWE Raw. First of all, kudos to WWE, because I was keeping track over the weekend through the Russell Tix account on social media. And I loved hearing the fact that in regards to WWE Raw tonight, they were out there at the Honda Center in Anaheim, California, which was sold out. That bad boy got sold out. And I'm going, yo, that is great. That is a huge win. That is what you want. And it just really is a testament to how well things have been running for WWE these past several months. And it's a testament to WWE and its respected fans from this standpoint. Despite all the controversy that is going on with now oust Vince McMahon, that you still have those that are continuing to support the WWE brand, and they're showing up in the biggest ways possible, whether it's buying merchandise through the official store or they are going to these live events. They are coming out, they are representing still, despite whatever controversies there is going on. And as we've mentioned and highlighted here on the show off and on these past couple of weeks, there's probably a lot more skeletons that's going to be coming out of the closet. But, hey, for now, right, that's that. What else is going on, right? What else is happening in other news, be it good or bad? And it's just one of those things where, you're seeing how record numbers as far as attendance, you're seeing the record numbers as far as social media engagements, impressions, like everything is just up right now. So to see that trend continue going into tonight's WWE Raw at the Honda Center, sold out, and they were they made certain that you all knew that bad boy was sold out from all the various shots that they showed you, live shots, mind you, throughout the night. I loved seeing. I mean, it felt like off of that crowd, you're feeding off of their energy. You felt like you were watching something pretty important here tonight. It had a big fight feel to it. It felt as though maybe you were watching a premium live event, to say the least, and it wasn't the case at all. And it's so funny because this is almost the same kind of aura that I can recall experiencing when I was going to WWE live events when CM Punk was still with the company. So it's just so interesting how I'm not putting it all on one guy. I'm just giving you guys a observation from, okay, how it was way back when and comparing it to now and everything. So great crowd. You guys in California, pat yourselves on the back. You all did phenomenal. This was the Raw Go Home show. As don't forget, Elimination Chamber in Australia is going to be going down this Saturday morning. I want to give you guys a friendly reminder in case you didn't see the tiny little font size text in the graphics that they were showing tonight. That Elimination Chamber Premium Live event, if you're in the United States, it starts at 5 a.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. Pacific. I want to just make sure I stress that because I know that there are some of you WWE fans, you might be used to maybe a 2 a.m. pay-per-view, maybe a 3 a.m. pay-per-view, mostly a 1 or 2 in the afternoon pay-per-view. This is a 5 a.m. pay-per-view that's happening this weekend. I already got my work schedule. I actually have to work Saturday afternoon. I've got to work a couple of hours. So I'm going to put a poll out. Look for it sometime Tuesday afternoon. And I'll say the cutoff time will be Friday at 3 in the afternoon. But I need you guys' help because I need to know if you guys want me to cover that premium live event with a post-show live, or if you all are willing to wait until Saturday night once I get situated from work, have a bite to eat, get rested up and everything, take care of my girls, then do a post-show for you guys. If I were to do an evening post-show, it would probably be around 8 o'clock. Right? 8 o'clock. I don't care if Collision is going to be on during that time. I honestly don't give a damn about that. However, for those of you that may tune in to the Collision and maybe you want to jump in the chat, let me know some things that's going on with the show. That would be fine, right? But yeah, I don't know right now. It's up in the air though. I mean, if you guys want me to do a post show, I'll do it. Otherwise, we'll just hold off till Saturday night. So look out for that poll. But this was the final Raw as they're going to be going to Elimination Chamber. Great momentum build up. Of course, the main event match for tonight, Jey, main event Uso, taking on Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. I love that match. I loved it. I loved it on all cylinders. I'm looking at this, and part of me was going, well, damn, maybe, just maybe, Jey Uso is going to win this. Because I'm having in my head, you know what, if Jey Uso were to win, obviously Gunther gets a rematch, right? But what exactly would this mean for Gunther on the road to WrestleMania? Would he maybe somehow slide in to getting a spot at the Elimination Chamber possibly? I was starting to play around with the whole idea and everything, and it never dawned on me. Foolish me, I know, foolish me, but it never dawned on me that, oh snap, you know what? What if Jimmy is still somewhere in the arena and ends up screwing his younger brother out of that championship opportunity? And sure enough, that's exactly what had went down there. Ringing of the bell and causing the distraction and all of that. Seeing Solo Sikoa with the spike to the throat. Frickin' Drew McIntyre taking advantage. Delivering the Claymore. Oh, correction. I got my guys mixed up. I apologize there. Gunther taking advantage of the whole situation. I know what I was thinking about in regards to Drew. We got an update on Drew. We'll get to that in a little bit. But Jimmy Uso ringing that little, ding, 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 ringing that bell, timekeeper thing. Solo Sikoa delivering, right? Just another... Wait a minute. No, I do have my segments mixed up. Jimmy was involved in the main event, but there was no Solo, from what I recall. Yeah, forgive me for that, guys. I apologize. It's just... Because, wait a minute. Monkey see, monkey do. Groundhog Day yet again? But Jimmy did pop up twice. He popped up much earlier in the night, but in the main event, he made sure his presence was felt as he helped Gunther retain the title. And then afterwards, Jimmy continuing the later onslaught there on his younger brother, and was very quick to tell him, no matter how much popularity you get, always remember, little brother, you ain't gonna never be as big as me. I won't allow it. Right? So this is personal. This is personal for Jimmy here. So seeing him lay out his younger brother and just catching all of that heat, I thought that was well laid out by WWE. Loved it. I loved how that was executed, right? You can have controversy there be involved with Jey Uso, why he wasn't able to become the IC champion. And now, obviously, the bigger question is, okay, so where do we go from here in regards to Jey Uso? What's going to happen here, with Jey and everything? I'll tell you exactly what happens with Jey, especially considering what had happened involving Jimmy Uso earlier in the night. Now let's talk about that, because we had a really great banger of an opener for Monday Night Raw, as we had a great match between Drew McIntyre. Man, I really love that match. Drew McIntyre taking on Cody Rhodes. That was a great opener. I think that match went damn near 20 minutes. And you know what? Look, I wish it could have been commercial free, just that match. I think they took, 3 commercial breaks? It was okay, though. I was fine for it. The action was good. Start to finish. Loved it. The fact that Jimmy Uso got involved in that one. Then Solo Sikoa, right? While the referee's distracted, Solo jumping up on the apron, delivering the spike to Cody's neck. Drew McIntyre realizing everything that went down, but not giving a damn, delivering the Claymore kick. Bada bing, bada boom, 1, 2, 3. That's all she wrote. Damn, right? I love that. I loved all of that. That was some good stuff right there. So now Drew essentially picking up a little bit of momentum going into Elimination Chamber. I like the idea that's being toyed here. Have the stars finally aligned here for Drew McIntyre. Is he gonna do the impossible? If when it's all said and done, is he gonna somehow figure out how to try and punch in a ticket to try to go to WrestleMania? It's like, we shall wait and see. But considering what had happened with Cody Rhodes, which led to a great backstage segment with Seth Rollins, no words even being spoken between he and Cody, just that look and a pat on the thigh, you know what we got to do here, right? And then considering what happened with Jey Uso and his respected main event match, we're going to see a new Shield reformed for one night, and it's basically going to consist of Cody Rhodes, Seth frickin' Rollins, Jey Uso. Make no mistake about it, Jey Uso is definitely going to be heavily invested now in that joint between Cody and Roman for the Universal World Heavyweight Championship. Make no mistake about it. And I agree with you guys. I did end up watching SmackDown. I did watch it, and I loved what happened with The Rock there. You all were very quick to point out, wait a minute, look at the fact that when The Rock says loser, and look at the fact that he doesn't hold up a definitive 1 to the sky. He holds up a L. Rock's going to turn on Roman. I like that idea that you all are playing around with. Could Rock be a double agent? I love that idea. I don't quite know if I'm fully all there just yet, because I want to watch just, maybe 1 or 2 more shows involving The Rock there. But I can see why you guys are saying that, and obviously it seems as though there's some subtle hints there, and And before anybody goes, well, it's clearly obviously, like, what do you got? No, I just want to, you know how I am by now if you've been checking out the show for a long time. I like kicking back, and I like to, let me just get a little bit more information. Let me just tally up a little bit more, and then I'll process it all. But I love how, make no mistake about it, and we all could be in agreement, the way this is being handled right now, it's great stuff by WWE. Now, some people will say, oh, of course they had to pull this audible because this is, look at how things backfired. And, I don't think so. I think this was always the plan. I truly believe that in my freaking fiber. And I think when this is all said and done with, I think by the time WrestleMania is over and the dust has settled, Cody becomes a champion, then it's going to be an issue of those first round of interviews. That's what I'm going to be paying attention to with Cody as a champion. Okay, so, yeah, going back to, when that whole stuff had went down with The Rock and, was the trajectory of WrestleMania changed at any time, or were you guys always on the same course? I have a feeling Cody is going to say, no, we were always on the same. Rock was brilliant. He came in there and, he came in with some really great ideas, and it was actually, I wouldn't be surprised to hear some stuff about Rocky. I really, really would not be surprised. As far as paying it forward and all that, I really would not be that surprised. I would actually be surprised if it was the opposite, and if in fact, no, it looks as though the trajectory of WrestleMania, it was going to go, but I'm just, if it was under Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon just totally, then it's okay, yeah, god damn it. Yeah, it's kind of one of those type of deals, but I'm legitimately not getting that vibe. Remember what I said to you guys. I'm that same guy that said to you all last year's WrestleMania post show, enjoy the ride. Just enjoy the ride. They are not going to just, right? You guys want the shortcut. No. They're going to take the long route, right? You're going to get the scenic view here, okay? On the road to WrestleMania. I told you guys way back then, just enjoy the ride. Then when the stuff went down with the Rock, I said to you all, hey, look, just continue to enjoy the ride. Let's see where this goes. I trust WWE. I trust that at the end of the day, they're going to continue to do the right thing and everything. And honestly, with what's going on with the level of storytelling that they've been putting out there, way they've been booking things, I totally continue to trust them there. By the way, I love the little fine attention to detail. It's the little things that get me laughing big time. I got to give it up to Pat McAfee, who was drawing on the screen like freaking John Madden. I was howling like a mofo. The only thing I was missing was the freaking John Madden voice and everything. Now, you see here, Michael, this is where Cody Rhodes messed up. Let's freeze it right there. Now, look at that. Look at that. Boom. Right. That was the only thing that was missing. I know that was a really bad John Madden voice. I apologize. But you get the point that I'm making. I love seeing Pat McAfee draw on the little screen and all that. That was pretty hilarious. From there, we had a Elimination Chamber qualifying match. It was a battle royal. Your participants in that one, Xia Li, Valhalla, Tegan Knox, Natalya, Indy Hartwell, Candice LeRae, Maxine Dupree, Ivy Now, Elektra Lopez, Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, Mia Yim. I refuse to call her by that other name. Every time I look at that name, you know what comes to mind? Those freaking noodles. Those freaking ramen noodles. That's what comes to mind every time I look at that name. I refuse to call her by, please, before third quarter of 2024, let's go back to calling her Mia Yim. Look, if she's cool with the name, hey, all right, but, let's go back to calling her Mia Yim. Zoe Stark, Zelina Vega, Shayna Baszler, Chelsea Green, Alba Fire, Isla Dawn, Raquel Rodriguez making her return. Remember, we have not seen her for several months. She went out due to injury. B-Fab, Rodriguez picking up the win. Rodriguez, good choice to pick up the win. She's very, very fresh, right? Very fresh. Kind of gives you that element of surprise, so to speak. She's also a power monster in her own respected right, so she could definitely do some really interesting spots there at Elimination Chamber. So I'm all fine for that, right? Nice for her to return, and but that to the side. Typical battle royale. You know me by now when it comes to battle royales. That don't impress me much. R-Truth, Miz, DIY taking on Judgment Day. Judgment Day picking up the win here. Fans were really into this one. I love the video package that they had set up with R-Truth as he was being interviewed. And he's wearing a freaking plastic raincoat or whatever. And he's still having these delusions about when he first joined the Judgment Day, and even though they've kicked him to the curb, how he is now with Shawn Michaels and Triple H, DX, and I love how they put up that little graphic of DIY, and they've got the text that reads, "Not Shawn Michaels, not Triple H." I bust a gut on that one, man. That was just R-Truth continuing to bring the funny in that one. Crowd heavily invested into this matchup. But the way it comes off so far, it seems as though this story, it could be, if you see me looking around, I'm trying to find my cloth so I can wipe my glasses. But, my furry little daughter had grabbed it, it looks like. I got it now. Anyway, but it seems as though the story arc is potentially getting ready to wrap up here, assuming that we don't see a situation come about where maybe R-Truth ends up costing Judgment Day the tag titles at Elimination Chamber. If that were to happen, then obviously Damian Priest and crew, maybe they might, try to extract some type of revenge on Truth or whatnot. But Judgment Day continuing to build up momentum, rightfully so, coming at a great time, honestly, as they head into Elimination Chamber. Sami Zayn being interviewed, where he once again is talking about, hey, I'm trying to become a champion, right? He's still running that same and then we get another video package later on from Shinsuke Nakamura, basically pulling a Diamond Dallas Page saying, "I'll make you famous." So, hey, bring it. I told you guys, look, Sami Nakamura, if this is where we're going to be heading for the next couple of weeks, I'm heavily invested. Sign me up for that one. Chad Gable taking on Ivar. Gable getting in a suplex into a moonsault for a 2 count, followed by the ankle lock for a win. Solid matchup. This has been kind of like a long time coming as far as a nice breakout moment, if you will, for Chad Gable. I won't definitively say this was that breakout moment, but when you look at how both of these guys have been teasing each other, going at it, circling around each other for the past several weeks and everything, and when they've locked up, it's been fun, has it not? I mean, it's really been fun. So to see how everything had paid off right here, I won't say this was a superb match, but Gable did look like a bona fide stud in this one, and if that was the intention for how it was laid out, kudos to those that be. They definitely hit the mark in this one. But other than that, that pretty much was WWE RAW. You have some decent, good matches. Everything pretty much implications towards the Elimination Chamber premium live event, still building up towards that and everything. Pretty solid show. I would have to say. Another thing that really stood out to me from a production standpoint, I really loved how they were playing around with some of the new camera angles. I was getting less of that Kevin Dunn production vibe, right? Um, I liked it. I liked it. The little subtle things, such as Drew McIntyre coming out, and then when he climbs up to the corner of the top turnbuckle, they do that nice pull away shot, and his sword, they got the graphic of his sword, and the blade is pointing at him. And then when he throws his hands up into the air, how fire shoots out from the other turnbuckles behind him, and now all of a sudden that sword, that graphic sword that's pointing at him, now it's on fire at the same time as the pyro. Those little fine things, like, I love that. I also love the touch of WWE sprinkling in there the overall ratings for some of the superstars throughout the night. Now, I can't remember, for the love of me, you guys got to forgive me. I know they showed the ratings for Cody and Drew McIntyre. Cody is a 93. Drew McIntyre is a 89. I could be wrong, but I don't think they showed any more ratings for the rest of the night. And bear with me here. I'm just curious if they actually have ratings now available for all the WWE superstars. Hang on here. Okay, so shout out to Cultured Vultures. They have all the confirmed superstar ratings right now. Let's see if we can pull this up. This was updated as of February 17th. So that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Like 3 days ago. That's not too bad. All right, so right now for the... Wow, this is it? Hang on. Let me see if I can find something a little bit more. Hang on. See if I can get something... Okay, I see something actually from 52 minutes ago. Let me see if I can actually... I'm looking at an article here from Essentially Sports. Let me just skim this real quick here. Okay. So I tell you what, let's do a two-parter. And I'll challenge you guys. If you guys want to try to give me a superstar whose ratings have been confirmed, throw it out there at me. And make sure you mention the site that you're getting that information from. But what I'm seeing so far, Rhea Ripley is a 96. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with Mommy being a 96. That's about accurate. Dominic Mysterio an 83. I kind of feel more like he should be at 85. That's just me personally. Because I'm looking at the next name, and it's Miz. They got Miz at an 81. I think Miz is right. I think Dominic should be a little bit higher. Logan Paul is at a 90. Yeah. Logan Paul at a 90. That might be a little too high. I think Logan Paul should be at an 87. Zelina Vega, a 74. That's a little too high. I think that should be a 69 or a 70. Kevin Owens is at an 86. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Tiffany Stratton is at a 79. I don't know if I agree with that. Maybe a 82. Alba Fire, a 74. More like a 71. Okay, and then what do we got for the men? Let's see what we got here for the men. What about the men? Let's see here. All right, let's see here. Trying to look up the men. Give me a second here. Is that it? Oh, that was all combined. Yeah, I'm looking at a couple other sites. That's all the confirmed people we know so far. So now we know about Cody. We know about Drew McIntyre. Apparently, there is a rating out for Jey Uso that has some people pissed off here. So let's see what's going on here. So Jey Uso is at a 90. This is by Essentially Sports. Let's see. The ranking of some prominent WWE stars in the 2K games has been something that many fans didn't know about. For this year's game, the WWE put a bit more emphasis on it. While fans were okay with the ranking till now, this episode of WWE RAW revealed the ranking of Jey Uso. This is where fans took a step back to analyze it and debate why he was ranked 90 compared to others. Jey Uso at a 90. Jey Uso's at a 90 and Jimmy Uso is at an 84. I mess with Jey Uso. I love both of the Usos, but I don't know if Jey should be at a 90. I mean, then again, this is weird, right? Because you think about the fact that he had that great match with Roman Reigns and came pretty damn close to becoming the champion and all that. That's a tough one. I don't know about 90, but I think the majority of us could be in agreement that he should definitely be in the 80s. I think if Jey Uso would have been at, and again, his brother is, where's his brother at again? Hang on here. Where'd they put his brother at again? I forgot that quick. Forgive me there, guys. They put his brother at an 84. So if his brother's at an 84, then Jey should be at an 87. I think if he would have been somewhere between 85 to 87, fans wouldn't have overreacted. I get the outcry though. I gotta see this. So we got Top G, who's saying Priest should be an 85. Jey should be like an 86. Solo 84. Jimmy 81, 82. I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. See what else people are saying here. Corvus Glaive, Jey a 90 while McIntyre is an 89 and Gunther is a 90 is an absolute joke. I agree with that. I agree with that, Corvus Glaive, to the point that Gunther, since he's been undefeated for, such a significant period of time, Gunther's numbers should be much higher. I mean, how are we going to have Cody at a 93 and we've got Gunther at 90 when that actually should maybe be flipped, or you make Gunther, if it were up to me, and I'm glad it's not up to me, 'cause some of you guys, you would hate me for saying this, but if it were up to me, I would have Roman Reigns would have the highest number, because that highest number for me would represent the level of difficulty in beating the guy and everything. I would have Roman Reigns at a 99. That's really how we get people talking. I would have Roman Reigns at a 99. I would have Gunther at a 97. Those would be my only two guys that would have those respected numbers for the entire game. So yeah, they messed up. And then you got Jey at a 90. That's not good. That's not good at all. One user suggested that a fair reflection would amount to both Uso brothers receiving a higher rating. saying that the Usos should be in the 90s, both of them. No, I don't agree with no. They messed that one up. Well, look, here's the best part. And look, when the game comes out, if we're still able to, we have that ability where we're able to adjust the overall ratings as we see fit. So, there's always that to look forward to for those of us that don't agree with what's going on here. So, we'll keep you guys posted on that. By the way, the updated card for Elimination Chamber is as follows. And look, the fact that this card is going to be a pretty small one, we should be in and out. This should be at most a 2.5 hour, almost a 3 hour event. So those of you that maybe plan on staying up, or if you're like me, you got to deal with work, maybe late morning, early afternoon, you can take comfort knowing that, okay, well, it's not that many matches, number one. Number two, unless you're doing a post show like me, you're easily going to be able to get in a couple of more hours of sleep before you have to go in for work and everything. But right now, there's only 4 matches, which again, we're going to see Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, Bobby Lashley, LA Knight, Kevin Owens, Logan Paul, Elimination Chamber match for World Heavyweight Championship match at WrestleMania 40. Meanwhile, Rhea Ripley defends the Women's World title against Nia Jax. Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, Raquel Rodriguez. I kind of enjoyed seeing all of the girls come out, having their little powwow before all hell just started to break loose. I understood the whole point of the segment and all that, but there's parts of that was just a little too hokey dokey for me. But that's going to be a women's elimination chamber match for a women's world championship match at WrestleMania 40. And then we have Judgment Day defending their undisputed tag titles against the New Catch Republic's Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, as my furry little daughter is playing with a sock. So 4 matches, that's the card for this premium live event. Am I seeing this right? That apparently there was supposed to be a Brock Lesnar match? I don't know how this rumor got started, but apparently, I'm seeing as far as canceled matches, Brock Lesnar, who last appeared at SummerSlam, August 2023, was planned to have made his return at the Royal Rumble in the men's Royal Rumble match. It was also planned that he would have been eliminated by Dirty Dominic Mysterio to set up a match between the two at Elimination Chamber. However, due to Lesnar being referenced in a sex trafficking lawsuit against Vince McMahon, Lesnar was pulled from the Royal Rumble, and all planned storylines for him leading to WrestleMania 40 were scrapped. I mean, do we know that definitively? Do we know that for a fact? I mean, kind of have to take those rumors there with a grain of salt. One thing that you don't have to take with a grain of salt, Dave Meltzer. Can we just, what the hell? How is it that this guy saw the footage that he saw between Triple H and The Rock going back several years and got that mixed up, somehow got that confused with, that was just so, okay, well, look, mistakes, hey, it happens, right? But the fact that he did not take self-accountability for this, some of you guys are out there and you're going, oh, well, he put out an apology. If you want to call what he put out there an apology, hey, more power to you. I don't even look at that as a half-assed apology. I look at that as he came off like a pompous jackass, as far as I was concerned. What he should have done was put out a statement and just take it on the chin like a champ. show that self accountability. He should have said, okay, hey, over the past several days, I've had my ass handed to me because I had got one segment mixed up with one of the main story arcs going down at WrestleMania. And, I want to say that with the information that, I thought I was seeing here, obviously it was bad information here. I really should have properly done my research and cross-referenced. And for that, particularly to our subscribers, particularly to our followers, I apologize. I will strive myself to do better in 2024. This was definitely a very teachable moment. I got to make sure that I'm on top of my P's and Q's, right? But he didn't even put that out there. He didn't even put that out there. I want to just play for you guys exactly what he had to say in this here. I want to play some audio for you guys. Let you all hear what the man had to say. Because this was not, I mean, don't take my word for it, but just what he had to say in regards to this. You're just going, dude, that's really it. And you wonder why this guy continues to get a bad rep here. It's like freaking no wonder. This is the same Dave Meltzer. I know Matt Coon's been getting on him as of late, right? I mean, just all the stuff that Matt Coon's been able to pull up of Dave Meltzer's now deleted tweets and all that other, it's face palming at its finest, man, when you see this crap. Let's see here. Hang on. I'm going to try to see if I can pull this up. I'm actually looking at the link that's in question, so just bear with me for a couple of seconds. I'm going to sync my phone up to the mixer so that you guys can hear this. By the way, shout out to Mandy Rose. She was recently interviewed where she revealed that one fan from her, her OnlyFans account or whatever, one fan has basically paid like almost $55,000. You heard me right, $55,000. Mandy thanks you. Her soon-to-be husband thanks you. I mean, seriously. I mean, seriously. I think it was a tip. I think that's what it was. I think it was a tip. I mean, that is just insane. That is just insane. Oh, my God. Could you just imagine if somebody was willing to give you that amount of money? I mean, seriously. See, I'm trying to find it here. And now, okay, I found it. But my daughter wants my attention. Give me a second here. All right, let's play this here. So it's a 2-minute clip. That's the way it's looking right now. It's a 2-minute clip. I know. But see, here's the thing. Once I pick you up, I'm talking to my daughter. Once I pick you up, you're going to act like you're so scared. Okay, I'm going to pick you up. Watch you get scared, though. Hi. My furry daughter making a cameo appearance. All right, so it's connected. So we got ourselves... we're live. Anything can happen. All right, so we're live. I'm going to let this clip play. It's about 2 minutes and 14. She's licking my face for those of you that's going to be listening on the downloads here. All right, so the clip is about 2 minutes, 14 seconds. I'm going to let this play, and then we'll talk a little bit more afterwards. This is Dave Meltzer trying to do damage control from last week. It would probably help if I turned up the audio. Yeah, there we go. Oh, yeah, now I can hear it. Okay, let's go. Huh, nothing. That's a first. Oh, here we go.
Bring up something before we get going, and And the story that I wrote in the Observer yesterday, I had seen this clip. Somebody sent me this clip of Dwayne and Paul Levesque face to face and this and that, and it was actually an old clip.
So I think it was from like 10 years ago. I did realize what it was after you told me.
Yeah, it was an old clip. So so as soon as I found out, I took it out of the thing, and I'm apologetic about it, and it was a mistake. And so I mean that aspect is kind of a bummer for me. You know, I mean, it was a mistake, and thing I didn't like about it, it was, you know, it's like you hate to do a mistake, you know. Like that never anyway. But like this week of all weeks, and it isn't even for this story, because as much as I investigated that story, you know, the whole thing about everything, how it went down, the timeline, the original angle, all that. I mean, that was, you know, and the D'Amore stuff. And you know, I did so much work this week, but the lead story, which is the the Ashley Massaro story, I thought was like one of the most important stories that I have written, and you know, just tying those things together as we talked about. And I just thought that like it's sad to me that because I made a mistake that you know, it overwhelmed in a lot of people's eyes, you know, that you know, the very important story that I had done, you know, and I've been working on, and it's you know, it's my fault and everything, but it's just like, it's kind of sad about, you know, that aspect of it. But, you know, it happens, and I'm sorry about it. And like I said, like as soon as I found out, I took it right out, and then people are mad, you know, like whatever, because I took it out. And it's like, what do you want me to do? If I make a mistake, you want me to keep it there so you can keep throwing knives at me? So I take it out and you continue throwing knives at me? It's like I made a mistake, and it's, you know, mistakes like that are going to happen.
No, I think what the general public wanted was, Dave, for you to officially go on record and just say, hey, obviously a huge mistake was made here. I apologize. I will do better. I will make sure that before I publish something, or even if it's not him that's publishing it, maybe it's somebody else that's basically cross-referencing, is done to ensure that everything's accurate in the reporting. Just all about accountability. And I think the other thing that has people upset at Dave is the fact that what he put out initially, it wasn't a, hey, so sorry. It wasn't even a half-assed apology. It was just pretty much, I don't even know what the hell you want to call it. You know, maybe, hey, we deleted it. What more do you want? It's like, sorry. Like, no, we need a little bit more than that. This guy has been under such great scrutiny these past couple of years. It is a firm reminder of, look, I hate telling people what to do with their money. At the end of the day, you all bust your asses at work. You work hard for your money, just like myself, right? You work hard for your money. Last thing you want is somebody telling you what to do with your money. The last thing you want is somebody telling you how to spend your money. But I tell you what, when it comes to trying to stay on top of inside information, trying to understand the ins and outs of the respected industry, in this case of professional wrestling, I just can't will myself to go, yeah, I'm going to recommend Dave Meltzer. Like if you were to pick my brain right now and ask me, hey, Lee, I've got money's no object. Who would you say? Like, Meltzer would not be somebody that I would say, okay, go invest your money over here. Hell, right down to the point, you guys that had voted in the 2023 Wrestling Awards, you all let your voices be crystal clear. And Dave Meltzer, I think he picked up the award for worst wrestling worst wrestling news personality. And I think he picked up one for non wrestling personality as well. I think he picked up like 3 awards, if I'm not mistaken. I got to go back and look at the show that we did from a couple of weeks ago. Check out the results of that again. I also make sure that we tag the winners, because I'm just curious how everybody will react when they see like they won this category and or they won that category. So I definitely got to make sure that we get that out this week and everything. I am still chuckling at the comment that was left by somebody on YouTube who was like, "Can you switch the 'I need to get this off my chest' picture? Would be better if we could see you." And it's like, you obviously are new, because when we do the Wrestling with the Topic show with me and the missus, very seldom will we have the camera be on. We mostly just stream that show live with our voices in the background of the show logo and all that. So, it's amazing how we're in this age where a lot of people are so concerned about the face. And I don't have a problem showing off my face, right? I think I'm a nice looking man, especially when I decide to let my beard grow out and all of that. But I have no problem showing my face. But I just think it's amazing how I've been reading up a lot on communication theory. And I literally just read a chapter on how we communicate through digital media and all that, and the ways in which we're communicating. How, in the case of digital communication, as far as establishing relationships and all that goes, it can be quicker than a face-to-face relationship in some cases, friendship, etc. But then in some other instances, there could be like a little bit of a hindrance, right? So I just think it's so interesting that comment, and I'm not picking on you, by the way, so don't take it personal, but I just think it's so interesting that in this day and age, like, we've got some people that are so concerned about the face and reading the facial expressions and all of this other stuff versus, let me make sure that I'm actually hearing what the person is saying, because the information that they're giving me, this is very critical, and I need to make sure that I'm processing it, as opposed to I need to see. It's so interesting. It really, really is, because I know that there are some people that are disabled. We have some listeners that cannot see. And so shout out to my friend Cheryl. For example, Cheryl is a longtime RCWR show supporter, which reminds me, I gotta check in with her, see how she's been. I'm pretty sure she went on the most recent Jericho cruise, but for some respected reason, she's not popping up in my feed like she used to. Maybe she's not posting as much, but I gotta check on her. But she is totally blind. She is totally blind. She cannot see. And Cheryl, what a sweetheart. I mean, from time to time, she has popped up, said a little something online or in the chat, and and she can get down with the best of them as far as listeners goes. So let me tell you something. If something happens where I can't get a webcam to work, people like Cheryl are totally fine, because as long as my voice is working, they're good, right? Not to mention, this show in its original format was an audio show only. We didn't embrace the webcast versions until, because we started this in 2011, we didn't start embracing the webcast versions of the show until, I would say, the beginning of 2012. The beginning of 2012. We did the first year just audio-only shows. Then we started doing webcasting shows along with the audio shows the next year. And we still put out content. There's sometimes cases where I'll only put out audio-only content for on-demand and on the downloads. There is still that demand for it. So I guess the whole message, don't be so quick to put down content where you're not able to see somebody's face. Now, if you want to maybe say, hey, I don't know if you're aware of this, but this graphic has been up for a while. I don't know if you're doing it like that on purpose. Maybe it's about time to take it down. I don't know, but thought you should know. Okay, that's one thing. That's one thing. But you'd be surprised how many people just, no, I'm just gonna let this play in the background because I want to be able to hear, right? You know, I mean, my God, after watching 3 hours of men and women in tights and then to go check out a post show afterwards, you know, where you're looking at somebody's mug for 45 minutes, an hour, almost 2 hours. It's kind of one of those, God bless you all that are able to do it. I know for me personally, you know, after about, you know, roughly an hour, I go, okay, yeah, all right, so I'm just going to let you continue to talk. You're making good points, but I'm just going to do some other stuff, you know, around the studio or whatever while I'm listening and, you know, pretty much go at it that way. That's how I like to roll. To each its own. So, some other stuff that we can get into real quick here. I think this girl's days might be numbered, y'all. I hate saying that. I really, really do. But I think this girl's days might be numbered in the WWE. Of course, I'm talking about Nikita Lyons. It pains me to have to say this because I love this woman. I love this woman. I've been a big fan and supporter of hers ever since I first laid eyes on her when she was wrestling as Faith the Lioness over at the WOW Women of Wrestling promotion. Shout out to them. They tried to hit me up last week to let me know about some interviews that was going to be conducted this week. And sadly, wasn't available because I'm in the thick of my college classes right now. And a lot of the assignments that I am on right now, I mean, I'm getting multiple assignments out the yin-yang, like each class. It started off just one assignment from this class, one assignment, and then it was 2. And now it's a case where like 4 things are due from one class, all in the span of like a few days. I got another one that's giving me like 3 things. I got another one that's like, okay, research and read up on these 8 things and then watch this. And then, so I'm like all over the place. So it's just, it hasn't been a good time for me to do any kind of interview right now as a result. But the grades are fine. The grades are fine. I'm still clocking in with nothing but A's. A little bit concerned about my communications class. I'm sitting on a C+, B- right now. And it's not so much the overall content that I can't grasp. It's the tests when it comes to actually taking the test, because I got to do weekly quizzes. Those things, man, it's like you think you know, and then, right? So the quizzes are, I haven't failed a quiz, but like I'm continuing to get C's, C- on my quizzes, and it's like, okay, like I've only got a couple of more weeks left for this class. I gotta make sure I'm looking at least a B-. I don't really want a C. I'd rather have a B-, a B+. That'll do. So we'll see what happens. It could possibly happen. But shout out to the people over there at WOW. Love you guys. But Nikita Lyons, she's been out of action again due to suffering some type of injury. Remember, she recently returned back in December after recovering from a ACL surgery January of last year. And then remember before that, there was some type of an issue going on pretty much in that same area where she was out for a little bit, right? So if you're keeping tabs at home, if I'm not mistaken, what's happening with this current injury, this would be, I believe, number 4. This would be number 4. So not good whatsoever. but it's being reported that she's out of action again due to, right? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, we get a little bit more information as far as what's going on with her, how long she's actually going to be out, and all of that stuff. I know as far as social, I know as far as social media goes, I just tried to look her up online, and Lord have mercy, I pulled up some porn star. And the first thing I see is this porn star, and she almost looks like Nikita Lyons too. That's the craziest part. Where the hell is? I just put in Nikita Lyons. Okay, maybe this is her. Yeah, this is her. Let me just. That's crazy. That is crazy. I tell you. I'm looking to see if she put anything out there on social media. And she has not said anything yet. So I would imagine maybe when we go and check out this week's NXT, maybe we'll see exactly what's going on. Because look, for all we know, you hate seeing reports like that. You're hoping that whatever is going on, it's something that is extremely minor. That basically rehabbing will take care of it, and she'll be good to go in a couple of weeks. But anything beyond that, you're just going, man, this girl, she just cannot catch a break, can she? So I would hate to see a situation go down where if she gets another significant injury, I promise you, if she gets another significant injury, like back to back like that, if she gets another one, I have a feeling WWE is just going to wait until she gets to 100% healthy and then go, okay, look, you can now go out there, make a living on the independents. Sorry, but I'm rooting for the girl. I really am rooting for her, but I don't know, man. It's not looking good for her. Not looking good for her at all. Other than that, there's some other little tidbits that we could get into here tonight, but we've almost done a 2-hour show. I'm going to say let's stick a fork in it and we can come back and talk about some of those things on Wednesday night show. All right. So your next edition is going to be coming at you guys on Wednesday, February 21st, 2024. We will get into the talk of NXT, AEW. I definitely want to sound off about what has recently happened with Jeff Hardy and the injury that he had suffered from last week's Rampage tapings involving everybody's favorite wrestler, Sammy G. We'll also talk some TNA news, as I have not really gone in depth. I know I talked about the exit of Scott D'Amore, TNA president Scott D'Amore, but there's been some new developments that's happened since then, which we'll talk about. We will also talk about the very latest with the Vince McMahon lawsuit and allegations, as there's been a interesting development there. So loads of other stuff that we'll be able to get into on this Wednesday's show. I want to recognize our sponsors. Shout out to them. Shout out to ShopTotallyT-shirt.com. If you have a charitable event that's going to be coming up, or any type of event, right? Maybe you're doing something for a sports team or whatnot, and you need shirts, hats. Still wintertime in some parts, depending on where you are. Maybe you need some hoodies. ShopTotallyT-shirt.com has you covered. They've got great prices, great affordable prices for whatever your budget is, along with great quality in their merchandise and top-notch customer service. Check them out today. ShopTotallyT-shirt.com. We're also brought to you in part by the good folks at DoBack.com. Whether you're shopping for gifts for him or for her, maybe you need something for the kids, DoBack.com has you covered with a little bit of something for everybody. Get rewarded by using DoBack.com, as you can get back deep discounts. You can also get rewards. You can get coupons as well. Save big time, right? Everybody likes to save a little bit of money. I mean, who doesn't, especially with the inflation that's going on in this country right now, which is a major talking point as far as going into election year and all that. So, you like to save a little money and everything, check them out, doback.com. We appreciate them as sponsors of this episode. I think our time with both of those respected sponsors is going to be wrapping up in a couple of weeks. I mentioned that to basically say, because I know they check out the shows as well, I definitely appreciate them for partnering up with us. It's been a great relationship these past couple of months. Shout out to friends of the show. Shout out to my man Julian Cannon of the Nocturnal and Digiday.com. I know that I saw him on social media. I know he recently had got the first, I believe, 3 episodes of, I think it was the first 3 episodes of BMF. I'm looking forward to reading his reviews on that. BMF comes back like the first week in March. It's one of my favorite. Now that I'm all caught up on all of my Star shows, I've got the John Travolta look going on. I'm like, what's next? What am I doing now? So now I'm going back on the DVR, trying to catch up on previous shows that I didn't get a chance to watch a couple of months back and everything. So right now I am on the newly rebooted Quantum Leap, and I am checking out previous episodes of last season's Law and Order, Organized Crime, and SVU. So checking that out. Also checked out the season premiere of FBI's Most Wanted with Dylan McDermott. Nice to see that they tapped into a FBI alum to be part of that whole new team as the I can't think of her name right now, forgive me, but for you FBI fans, you know what I'm talking about. The woman, the brunette, she basically left, and it wasn't even her choice. They basically just told her, hey, we're not going to be renewing your contract. So it's like, wow, we didn't even give Homegirl a proper arc of an exit. We just tuned in to find out she's no longer part of the cast. What the hell? Okay. So that, but I like the replacement. For those of you that haven't caught up yet, I won't spoil it, but I like the replacement that they're doing for her and everything. But shout out to Julian. Shout out to Anthony Missionary Thomas and Joe Numbers of Wrestling Soup. Love you guys. Shout out to you guys. You guys have been awesome. I asked you guys, hey, man, can you do me a solid? Make sure you share the content. You like the content. You guys are doing that. Can't stress it enough. For those of you that access the shows on demand and on the downloads, you audio listeners, make sure you are showing the ultimate support and you're leaving your ratings and reviews for the show on iTunes, Spotify, and I didn't mention this, but Facebook. I can't stress it enough because we've been bombarded by these weird spam bots on our Facebook page that's been leaving bogus reviews. They're not even leaving comments or anything like that. They are just, I've done my best to get in contact with Facebook, and they've basically said, hey, we're monitoring your page. We're going to do our best to purge it and, clean it out and all that. But it seems like this is a trend that has been happening as of late, where you're looking at it and you're like, this is just, the last thing I want to do is remove the whole review system itself, because I can't disable it. That's the last thing that I want to do, but I might not have any choice but to disable it if the trend continues. It's like these weird spam accounts. They pretend that they are acting on behalf of Facebook as far as issuing copyright notifications, but it's a whole scam thing where if you click on their links and all that, the next thing you know, you've downloaded a Trojan, a virus or whatever, and then you're pretty much screwed, right? So whether you have a Facebook business page or you know somebody that, make sure they don't fall for some of those tricks that's going on, right? Be Kind Rewind. Check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads wherever you get your podcast. Just search the RCWR Show. And until next go round, I'm wishing all of you all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. I'll see you all next go round, my pretty babies. Take care.